No, everything's good, man. It's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute. It's actually an honor. I've profiled you so much on the show. I love your work, man.
Ready? Oh man, I'm humbled. I'm humbled. Thank you so much.
So yeah, it's good, and I really am looking forward to getting into this the Flushing Town Hall show that you're going to have, and just in general. So thank you for taking a minute out.
Yeah, man, let's talk about it for sure.
So, what does this show mean to you? I mean, it's an iconic venue. It's and in the world with everything that's going on right now, music is so needed to take ourselves away from what's up. What does the show mean to you?
It's funny you mentioned that because on Saturday I had the big band, Mr. East Big Band at Bryant Park, and I was stuck in traffic because of the protests. I was like literally I couldn't move because people were like swarming around my car like water, and it was really stressful, man. But it was amazing seeing people, you know, just taking a stand on what they believe in. And I thought to myself, getting to the bandstand, how important music is, and in times like this, and almost every war or some kind of upheaval, music was the thing that helped people, you know. And jazz for me is very spiritual, and when your intention is to bring out good and positive energy, that usually was what comes out, and that's what people need right now. So anyway, that was my prayer before we started playing, was that we played Master Heath's music to the highest level possible. But also, not only that, I talked to the band. I said, it's not about impressing anybody. It's like every note that you play, play with some love, give somebody some hope. Um, and let's try to change the condition of what we're feeling, because the energy in Bryant Park was still strong from the protests. And I wanted people to just to be able to release and just feel like there's something positive and something worthwhile to live for. So the same thing with Flushing Town Hall. Usually this would be the Mr. Heath Big Band. They actually call it the Flushing Town Hall Jazz Orchestra, but it was still led by Master Heath. And I don't know if you know the story. We were supposed to play. We do it every year, but we got a call from Flushing Town Hall said the gig was off, and that was due to cuts from the NAAA grants and things like that. And I think Flushing Town Hall didn't think they were going to have the money to be able to pay for the band. So, but then maybe a few days later, they said the gig was on again. But at that time, we told 16, 17 people that the gig was off, so it's hard to say, okay, it's on again, guys, because cats are like, look, we got to pay our rent or mortgage, whatever. So I said, well, instead of canceling the date completely, let's salvage the date and bring in my quartet. And we were going to have Antoinette with the big band anyway. So I said, let's continue to have Antoinette with the quartet. So that's how this particular gig has turned out. And the music is going to be a little different. It's going to be my music and her music. So we're still trying to figure out a nice blend to make a really good concert. But for me, honestly, it's about, again, like putting a message of hope and peace and love out there through the music. I want people to just have a good time. Flushing Town Hall has been like a family for us for more than 15 years, I think, now that we've been doing it. So I want people to come in there and feel like you're not at the Met, you're not at Lincoln Center. You're in a place where you can like get up and dance, you can snap your fingers, stomp your feet, make noise if you feel it, if somebody's giving you something that inspires you, and just to let go. Even if, I always tell my students at Queens College this: if you look in the audience and somebody is sleeping, don't get offended by that. Maybe your music allowed them to finally relax after a long day,
Yeah.
so you should take that as something that's actually is honorable, something that's like you allowed this person to decompress. So that's what I want people to do. I want people to be able to decompress. I want them to have a good time. We already know what's going on, so I'm not going to talk about politics. That's not my arena. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it has place in terms of how I express myself. I was reading this book years ago. Um, it was Herbie Hancock and Wayne Shorter, and the president of SGI, Soka Gakkai Association, they're Buddhists, and President Daiseiko Ikeda. And Herbie was talking about, how people are protesting in the streets and during the times and when, Martin Luther King got killed and stuff like that. And he said, my role in that was not to be marching, but I was going to deal with it musically. And he wrote a composition called I Have a Dream. It's on a recording. This album is called The Prisoner.
Hmm.
And I thought about that. So everybody has ways that they deal with these kinds of situations. And mine is through my music and hopefully the spiritual aspect of what's coming through will again give some people something positive.
The beauty of this art form and being a practitioner delivering this on stage is that you are moving people, and this is such a profound art form. So I'm curious, going back to the beginnings of your life, what was that seminal performance for you that you saw the first time that made you think, I want to be up there one day. I want to do that.
I don't know if there was one performance, man. I just remember in elementary school, believe it or not, uh, before I even knew what a saxophone was. I just saw this guy on the stage and he had these things on stands, several of them. So probably had a tenor and alto and soprano or whatever, right? And I was like, and I heard him play. I was like, I don't know what that is, but I want to do that. So that was the beginning of it. And it's all fun until you have to learn scales and fingerings and stuff like that. You're like, I thought I could just get up here and have fun. And then I was fortunate enough to go to the arts high school, and that's what changed my life. Had a great teacher, Dr. Chris Ford, that took me from ground zero to where I was competent enough to go to college, and then the rest is history. But I remember seeing some of my heroes in Baltimore, like Gary Thomas, and if you know that name, one
Yeah.
of the incredible saxophonists from Baltimore. Of course, Gary Bartz. I used to sneak out of the house. My mom would go bowling, and I would sneak out and go hit Gary Bartz and get home before she got home from bowling. I never got caught, man. Thank God. She
Nice.
would have destroyed me. But yeah, and seeing those guys and feeling something, it wasn't like going to school, like an academic situation, like learning in that way. It was like the way you're supposed to learn. You hear it and you're inspired in that sound, that spirit resonates through your soul, and you just want to be connected to it. You want to feel that. You want to feel like, how can I be a part of that? How can I? It's like listening to, like, how many times have you listened to? What times have you listened to Kind of Blue, and you've listened to Miles Davis play on So What? Technically it's not, it's really, really, really sorry, somebody's texting me.
Oh, you're
Um,
good.
it's not a lot going on, but there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the sound, the melodicism, the space, the development. It's just like on such a high level,
Hmm.
right? And those things you get from being in the street. I'm a product of both academia and then sitting next to Frank West for 11 years, sitting next to James Moody, sitting next to Jimmy Heath, sitting next to Nat Adderley. So I'm probably the last generation that can say I did that with the real masters. So I understand there's certain things you will not get into college. College is to prepare you to be with these guys.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for a lot of the young musicians, they don't have those opportunities because a lot of those guys are gone. In fact, I got told yesterday or Saturday that I'm an OG now. I'm an OG. Wow, I guess I am. So I'm trying to give that to them. But man, it's every time I hear somebody. I mean, I used to chase Kenny Garrett all over the place, and I remember seeing Miles Davis so many times. Seeing that band. Of course, with Foley and Kai and Kenny Garrett and those guys, more electronic kind of stuff. Choo a Mandela period,
Yeah.
time after time, and all that stuff. But it was still Miles Davis,
Yeah.
or like I said, playing with Nat Adderley. I thought I really I saw him play actually when I was in college. I saw him play when he had Vince Herring in the band. I never knew that I was going to be in the band, you know. And it's just so many. The list goes on and on. But yeah, and playing with Dizzy Gillespie, Master Dizzy Gillespie, it's just that's probably the night that changed my life. That's one night that changed my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought, arrogant kid, 21, 22. So I know this stuff from Bird and Diz, right? And I would never call him Bird and Diz now. It's Master Parker and Master Gillespie. But I'm standing next to Dizzy Gillespie, and all of a sudden, man, I got scared because I was like, this guy created the language. And standing next to him was Charlie Parker.
Yeah.
What am I doing here? The hell am I doing here, man? And he made me feel welcome. It was right before he passed, so I'm really thankful that I had that opportunity. So many, man, but over the years, the music has changed so much for me, and I realized through people like James Moody, watching him sing Moody's "Move for Love" like every night, at least 400 or 500 times, right?
Yeah.
And every time he sang it, it was like the first time. I
Wow.
know for sure he didn't want to sing that song sometimes.
Yeah.
But he knew how important it was for the people. They wanted to hear that. And he would come and say, I said, Master Moody, home run. I would say that to him all the time. Or Master Heath, his composition for Dizzy entitled Without You Know Me. I still get goosebumps and I've been playing it for 35 years. It's just the love that comes through the music. It's way past the scales and the
Yeah.
notes and all that. It's just this spiritual thing. And I think honestly, in my humble opinion, that's why people love this music around the world. And I've been to almost every continent, and jazz is on every continent.
Yeah.
This contribution of African Americans to the world, I mean, it belongs to the world.
Yeah.
It belongs to the world now. But it was comes out of a condition, comes out of a people. We know that history. We should know that history. But to create this art form out of a very bad situation and to give something so beautiful that the whole world connects to it. And it has to be the spiritual part of it because people don't, they don't know that I'm playing the saxophone, I'm playing tritone substitutions, and I'm playing all these meters. They could care less. It's like, how does it make me feel?
Yep. Yep.
And that's kind of where I'm growing to. And that's a maturity thing. When you're young, you want to be the hot shot, you want to be the racing car. Now I want to be like that nice sedan, but I can still, you press the gas, I can still do it.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's the blessing, man, of having Master Heath for 30 years and then having the connection with a place like Flushing Town Hall to have like Clyde Bullock and Ellen and all the staff allow us to have a venue to play this music for the community, which is important because Queens, man, everybody was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the Grandmaster himself, Louis Armstrong, you know, Billy Strayhorn, Cannonball, Master Heath, and it's Clark Terry, and the list goes on, man. So it's a great tradition, and I'm glad Fletcher Hall is allowing us to do it. And it's unfortunate that things are happening where funding has become an issue, but it's always been an issue.
Yeah.
We just have to find a way to the people that love this music to keep it going, like WBGO and things like that. And I got to get back to my subscription, so I'm talking trash, but I had a subscription, but I'm gonna get it back.
Yeah.
So things like that, man. It's gonna be a really nice evening, man. We're gonna get on the stage and give everything we have, and hopefully that people will come in a certain way and leave better than they came in, like going to church on a Sunday.
Yeah. So, you mentioned the masters and legends and being an OG yourself. At the end of the day, the thing as I get older, I realize there's something magical about all of these cats that have dedicated their music. Every single year you evolve, you get better, you're producing this music that's making people happy. What is it that's gotten you up every day that's led you on this continuous evolution as a musician into today?
Man, just because the masters let you in the door and allowed you in the door doesn't mean you've arrived.
Right.
So every day is a day to be better, to get better, to learn knowledge. I think I tell my students this too. The beauty of this art form, or I think any art form, is like you never reach the final. There's no such thing as a final. I think if there was a, a finality or, finite part level that you reach, it wouldn't be as exciting. I think the beauty of it is like for the rest of your life, you're growing and you find something new. Even taking the most basic thing as a C major scale that you learn in the beginning, there's layers. There's layers. It's layers. It's like I'm a martial artist too, so it's like the same thing. It's things that I've learned in the beginning and I've learned the higher level things, but it always goes back to the beginning. And then you understand there's layers to it. And it's my examples again are people like Master Heath and Slide Hampton and Barry Harris and these guys. And I can tell you, because I spent a lot of time with Master Heath, he was doing it until he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Literally. I was with him in the end, man. We did two recordings. He was 92 years old. He did a small group record that came out, and we did a big band record that's not out yet. And I went to visit him right before he passed, and he was still like, Antonio, check out this arrangement on the computer. You know, it's that kind of love. I remember we flew to Thailand. It was Sly Hampton and Jazz Masters, and 17-hour flight, right? And then we had to catch a two-hour bus ride to wherever we were staying. I don't know if we were in Bangkok or another city, and everybody's wiped out. And I get in my room and I hear boop, 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 boop. I was like, what the hell? It was Slide Hampton practicing. You know what I did? I pulled out my horn and started practicing. I said, if the master is going to be practicing, that's what I should be doing too.
Yeah.
So those are the examples, but you think these people that have arrived, and as far as we're concerned, Sonny Rollins and those people, we think they arrived and they still practice 7, 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And they practice because they want their message to be clearer. It's not for any accolades. It's not for anybody to tell you that you're great. It's just because you have the love for the art form and you want your message to be clear, whatever you're saying, you know? And that's what I strive to be. And sometimes I have to put myself in check. Sometimes I get lazy and I'm like, well, nah, man, you have to do this. You've been blessed to be around these cats. And that God put you in this situation not to waste it. So I feel very thankful. Very,
So
very.
absolutely. So the show is on Friday, June 20th at the iconic Flushing Town Hall. Anything else going on with you? Any material? Anything you're working on?
Man, it's a lot, because I've been at Queens College now for 25 years.
Yeah.
Master Keith brought me there, and it's funny, he was only there for 10 years. So I've been there for 25 years. So I'm on spring break, I mean on summer break right now, and this is my time. So like I said, the reason I was a few minutes late because I was in my music room
Oh yeah.
practicing. I'm about to go to China. I'm leaving for China in about a week and a half. I got about 8 or 9 concerts over there. I'm doing a tour with Robin Eubanks. And I used to go over there quite a bit before COVID. So it's going to be the first time since COVID. It's going to be nice to do that. And I teach in Taiwan every summer at summer camp. I've been doing that for about 16 years. So I'll be doing that. And I'm just working on some personal projects, man. Definitely going to do some recording pretty soon. And then I'm also a part owner of a martial arts school, so that keeps me busy.
Good.
I'm there like at least 4 to 5 times a week at the martial arts school at night. So um, very busy, very tired at times, but fulfilled and happy. You know,
Yeah.
very fulfilled and happy.
So I will put these links in the show notes. Antonio, this was an absolute honor. What a revelatory talk. Thank you so much for your wisdom. Thank you for the music. More importantly, I appreciate it.
Hey, are you coming?
I'm in Kansas City. I'm not going to make it up, but
Oh man,
I I
Brad,
I
go
need to get
ahead.
up there. I need to get up there so bad and see shows in those iconic venues. It's time.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a Kansas City story. I'm gonna let you go.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
no, that's good. Yeah.
I was in Kansas City playing with Buster Williams.
Yeah.
And I told this gentleman, I said, man, I want to go to Charlie Parker's gravesite. You
Yeah.
have to, right?
Yeah.
So it was probably like 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. So we go there and we see the tombstone. He's next to his mom. And I understand the first one got stolen. So they made these big ones, right? So pull out my horn, and we play Cool Blues or something. Just play. And I took a couple pictures of the tombstones.
Yeah.
So after we finished playing, man, I heard this bird chirping.
Wow.
And I heard another bird chirping. Then I heard another bird chirping. And then all of a sudden we were circled by these birds. I mean, chirping loud, loud. And I was like, bro, when we got here, wasn't it quiet? He said, yeah. I said, do you hear what's going on? He said, yeah. And he said the birds were chirping the whole time until we left the cemetery. And
Wow.
then now, so when you believe you'll believe me. So when I took pictures of the tombstone, I just took pictures of the tombstone.
Yeah.
Every picture that came back had a shadow on it.
Wow.
There it is.
That's crazy, dude. That you woke up bird, man. That is wild.
See that? That wasn't there.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah, I'm not lying to you, man.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's when I knew. I always knew this stuff was spiritual, and I have a whole take on that kind of stuff. But that's when I knew is deeper, man.
Yeah, it
It's,
is.
it's way deeper. Like that's a pit. Dizzy Gillespie signed this to me the night I played with him at Birdland.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
wild.
but yeah, man. Yeah, that's my Kansas City
I
story,
dig it,
man.
dude. What a I've that is probably one of the best stories of somebody that came into Kansas City and genuinely channeled that energy of Charlie Parker. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, and I tell people that I used to tell the story, but you saw the picture.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I've been to the gravesite, and I know there's a feeling up there. My son had some beads that he put on his grave marker, and just there's every August there's a week, and they go up there and do a processional. There's an electricity in that area up there for sure.
Just man, keep in touch with me. Like if you have stuff going on there, or something that you feel like I can be a part of, because I love that. I haven't been back there in years because you have Bobby and Lisa Henry and them people out there.
Yeah.
I would love to come through.
Oh, we'd love to have you here. Kansas City's changed a lot, man. We've really grown up. There's a lot. We're getting the World Cup in a few years. It's
Yeah.
happening. It's a good thing. So,
No, there's a lot of history there, man, and
yeah.
the people were very nice. So but yeah, man, thank you for taking the time, and
Yeah.
it's important that we have these venues like Flushing Town Hall, and not just the places like the Vanguard and stuff. Those are important too, but these community places, because a lot of people can't get into the city. They can't afford these places, man. It's crazy. It's crazy expensive, and everybody should have access to the music. It
Yeah.
belongs to everybody.
Absolutely.
Jazz fans, Joe Domino here, the host of the weekly Neon Jazz radio show and regular interview series being produced and distributed from Lee Summit, Missouri. We are very excited to let you know about the second annual Lee Summit Jazz Festival taking place again this summer on June 28th at the Bridge Space, located at 210 Southwest Market Street in downtown Lee Summit. Following the success of the 2024 festival, the lineup will include Lee Summit students, KC Area Youth Jazz, Paganova with Michael Pagan, Horoscope with Stan Kessler, Brad Gregory, Adam Larson, and the Lee Summit Jazz Orchestra. There will also be food trucks and vendors to round out a day of celebration. Early bird tickets are 2 for $30, and all details can be found at lsjazzfest.com. We can't wait to see you there.